الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Dear viewers, listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, Alhamdulillah, we've gathered here and we are inshallah ta'ala going to be talking about uh, something very, very important. And that important thing is that what we're going to discuss today is the how we're going to spend the time the day before the exam. Number one, you don't need to take any stress. You don't need to take any stress. So that's number one thing. Now, many of you may think that, okay, my preparation is not super or very good. By the way, I've given a poll in the comments section, and in there you can tell me how is your preparation. Right. Now, I asked you a question about it that how is your preparation of what do you call it, unit number one. So that is something you have to tell me. Now, if I am saying unit number one, so let's begin with that. And let me remind you again what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be discussing how we're going to spend this day and how we're going to start our tomorrow's day. Let your friends know about this session. Right, this is something very, very important, and we'll give you some useful tips in managing the day. One. The second thing what we're going to talk about is how you're going to approach the paper one, although we have done it many a times, but today is just a brief. We look back and find out that how we're going to do paper one. And the third thing, I'm going to show you some of the sample answers for the for June 2018, inshallah ta'ala. Wa alaikum assalam for all of those who joined us, alhamdulillah. Okay, now what we are doing today, number one, first thing I would like you to keep in mind that you got to make sure that you go to bed today at 10 o'clock or 10:30 maximum. 10 o'clock or 10:30 maximum. So that's going to be your, what do we call it, your target, number one. Now, most of you say that I've got work to do, so how come I'll do that, right? So, no. You will have to get up early in the morning tomorrow, right? So this is something I know it's not chewable. You may not like it, but this is how it is, right? Now, why I'm asking you to do this, right? That's the question. The reason is because your tomorrow morning revision actually is 10 to 15%. And on top of it, it's gonna be contributing like what you're gonna be achieving. So this is something what I would expect from you to do well. All right. So the first thing we go to bed around 10 o'clock, 10:30 maximum. Now, the next question is, what if my preparation is no good? Right? What if my preparation is no good? no problem. You're not going to make a significant difference in few hours. Whatever's done is done now. You don't have to, and that leads me to another thing: no new learning. So the first thing we said, that you're going to go to bed at 10 or 10:30 and wake up early in the morning, around 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. Don't. And the second thing, that you're not gonna, would you call it, learn something new today. So whatever you have to consolidate. You have to consolidate that. Make sure it. Just improve it. As I used to say, the perfect questions. So those perfect questions should be there, and revise them again and again. Ask somebody to test me. If you fail, for example, let's say you're revising Sayyidah Khadija radiallahu anha, a note on Sayyidah Khadija, or 15, 17, or 20 points on her radiallahu anha. So you managed to do only 11. No panic, right? Go back, look at it again, and then what do you call it? Do it again, right? That's one thing. Now, the second thing, so for the first thing, go to bed at 10 o'clock or 10:30. Second thing, no new learning. We're not going to learn anything new today. We're going to do consolidation, whatever we learned so far. Rian has just joined us, mashallah. Rian, wa alaikum assalam. All right. Okay. So, what I was talking about is that how you will now. So that those things, and now coming back to consolidation, we're talking about unit number one. Unit number one, I would like that you go through them. Those questions on that, for example, Allah Himself, the 10 marks question, the teachings of Allah Himself, the teachings of Allah's relationship with His creation, the teachings of Allah's relationship with His messengers. The points of those questions are very important. So make sure you know those points, right? Then once you know those points, so if you notice, I'm now going with an inverted approach to unit number one. So those three questions are done. If those three questions you do first, basically they can be a source of reduction of marks in question number two as well. So it's out of the way. Now, let's look at those passages one by one. The passages of Allah Himself, the passages of Allah's relationship with His creation, and the passages Allah's relationship with His messengers. So look at these one passage and then go to some other topic, right? So you're going to sandwich these passages, right, with other topics. The reason why I'm saying is because it's going to confuse you. Because if you do all six at one time, you're going to get confused, right? So that's one thing. And the references of those are very important. So in this way, plan in such a way that you revise all 15 passages today. Let's say 2 in an hour or something. Beginning of the hour, end of the hour, right? So that's one thing. Then we move on number 2. Islamic law is number 1. Okay, so we were talking about, there was a little glitch. I hope you can hear me clearly now. So, what I just said, let me revise again. Let me revise again what I just said. That we're gonna be talking, like what we're gonna do is that we're gonna pick in an hour, like first, let's say 10 minutes and last 10 minutes of the hour to Quranic passages. So first we're gonna do first 5 passages, then first 10 passages, and then like 6 to 10, and then 11 to 15. So that's done. So now coming back to unit number two. In unit number two, we start with Islamic law. Whenever you're preparing Islamic law, I've been saying again and again, prepare those four sources together. Quran as a source of Islamic law, Quran as a source of Islamic law, Quran and Hadith as a source of Islamic law, right? And Hadith as a source of Islam. This is more likely to be in paper two, but prepare that question as well. And then Ijma and Qiyas. And don't forget that why some scholars reject Qiyas. It's in the helping notes. Please do remember those points on that. Now, if you have any question, please ask me in the chat. Yes, any question you have, please ask me in the chat. And we have done a little poll as well. Just tell me about it. Uh, how is your preparation for unit number one? Okay. Then, what I want you to do is, what I would like you to do is, all right, a very nice question pointed out by Furqan that tell me my weaknesses. All right. This question I wanted to ask you, if you don't know yourself, your weaknesses at this moment, right? You don't know yourself. You don't know your preparation. How can you say your preparation is good or bad? So, and that's based on that, I will be creating something courtesy for Khan, right? And you'll just find out. All right. So, so that's done. Then, with your compilation of the Quran, preservation of the Quran, then the preservation of the Quran is centuries. Do these questions gradually as well. I don't think so. It's going to take more than 2 hours. Unit number two. Then comes unit number three, right? Migration. And if you want, my suggestion would be go and have a look at the session on unit number three, right? That's going to be some useful session. Probably it's unit session number two and three are based on that. So have a look at them. Those sessions you'll find out. Those questions that in unit number three are very important. Please don't ignore unit 3B. 3B, what I mean, the application, right? How was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with strangers? How Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Oh yes, that question, that Prophet sallallahu alaihi, what Islam says, the status of women in Islam as wives, mothers, and daughters, right? So that question is very very important. Please do that question as well. Then migration, then the summary of the early life. Then we have the pledges of Aqaba, the migration to Abyssinia. In the battles, Battle of Khaybar is so far at the top, and followed by Battle of Badr and Battle of Uhud. So please do those. These are perfect questions I'm talking about. And those who want to know the perfect questions again, uh, please look at the session number one. I've identified those which are the essential questions. Right. Anyone has any questions? You are posting some questions in your chat. You can do that, please. And inshallah ta'ala, we will move on from there onwards. Okay. So we move to the next stage. If any one of you want to, so that's one thing. As just let me quickly revise that what we just discussed. Number one, go to bed at 10 o'clock. Number two, wake up. Meaning when you go to bed at 10:30, wake up at 4 o'clock, 4:30, right? Do your sleep should be nice, like 4 to 6 hours sleep, right? I know many of you will have 3 hours sleep. Don't do that, right? And because we got other papers coming up, if you mess up your sleep today, you're going to mess them up in the coming days as well. So don't do that. Uh, and another thing with reference to the place when you arrive, please make sure, because today this is the exams happening with reference to the COVID SOPs. So maybe the process may be slow, right? So you're going to make sure that you arrive at, if they ask you to arrive at 8 o'clock, arrive there at 7 o'clock or 7:30, right? And now those of you who live nearby the examination, you can have a 15 minutes. The 15 minutes time is going to take you half an hour, 45 minutes, right? And okay, Haya has just joined us, and Haya says, I've just started studying. Haya, best of luck. And look at my session number one, that will be in the description, and that will give you the perfect questions. Once the session finishes, that you can have it, and then it may of little help to you, inshallah ta'ala. All right. So I was talking about arriving at that place. This is something very, very important. Make sure you arrive an hour, 45 minutes early, because it's going to be a lot of, you may not have, I've seen those queues of 2, 3 kilometers, right, of cars. And then they're waiting in the car, and then 15 minutes before, the girls and the boys rushing towards the place. So if I don't want you to be one of those, right? You will not be in a state, would you call it, arriving at the examination, uh, where you are actually, you don't know where you are. So don't get into that situation, right? Arrive early, and if you're getting late, right, make sure you're ready. Your And then the pouch, the pencil case that you carry, please have, because some of you are in a habit, in even in school, like you've got a bag which is 10,000 rupees worth, right, or $50, but what do you call it, you will not bother having two pens with you. Make sure you have three pens with you, right, as a backup, then a pencil there as well. And you don't need a scale actually in Islamiyat, but in others, your pencil case should be there, but it should be transparent. Nothing should be in there. No covering, no uh, anything design or anything. It should be simple, transparent pencil case, right? Which, if I look from this side or from that side, it should look the same, right? And if I can, let me show you. Okay, the sample is in front of us. As you can see, this is a clean pencil case. But if you notice in this one, there is in the middle, this a gauze sort of a thing, which is, although transparent, but they will not allow this, right? So they will tear that, will ask you to take your pencil case back. So, so don't get it. It should be simple, transparent pencil case, right? And then they sometimes allow board, sometimes don't, right? So be ready for that, but you don't need that, to be very honest. Your entry slip should be with you. This is very, very important. When you yourself, entry slip, pencil case, right? Your ID cards, right? And so these things should be with you. And so so when you arrive, so arrive early, have those stuff with you, and inshallah ta'ala, and you have to enter very calmly. The last thing, at the examination hall, which I ask my students every year, you will find there old friends, cousins, distant relatives, right, out there. Please don't listen to them. Please don't meet them, right? If they're so concerned, they would have met you earlier, right? The CIEs are not the place to have your socialization. The mobile phone is something important because they will not allow the phones to go inside. So this means a driver or somebody will keep your phone, put the phone in the car, and then come out, right? Or somebody, if the car, somebody has to wait. So many a times the parents are waiting outside. So these are the things you got to be careful with. Another important aspects, because I'm stressing a lot on traveling. When you're traveling to your examination hall, if you arrive at a friend's place which is nearby, and one, if you go on one car, that will be convenient little, instead of the four cars going there, so you're going in one car, but not at the last moment. Still applies. You got, if they arrive, ask you to arrive at 8 o'clock, you arrive there at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30, you got to be there, right? So now it's how you calculate, like whether you are 1 hour away from there, whether you are uh, 15 minutes. So have, if that time period is 15 minutes, have it half an hour. If the time is 1 hour from the examination, 1 hour 15 or 20 minutes, you leave early. So this is something very, very important. Please have it organized. I don't want any stress to come on you because of these petty matters, right? Okay. So, walaikum assalam, Ayan. All right. So this, what we've discussed. Anything? Furqan has asked a very good question. That can we take any reading material with us? Uh, if you're going in a car, yes. If you're going with a driver, yes. If you think that you're gonna, what do you call it, you'll go alone, and somebody's gonna drop you and they're gonna go away, then I would recommend take minimum, right? The reason being, because they ask you to put everything on one side, and I've seen it always the way they treat that books and the rest of the notes and all that. And this is very, very unfortunate that many people don't even bother, right, at the examination center picking up their notes or the books and all that. Once they're done with the exam, they go away, right? It's your book. You're responsible for that. But my recommendation is not to have, if you are done with the revision, right, then give it to the driver or give it to your friend's driver or somebody, so they're kept in the car. I won't recommend that you keep anything. They have a place, they what do you call it, but maybe because of COVID they will not even allow that, because again it's because you're all coming together and everybody's things are being what do you call it, so maybe they will not allow that. Okay. So yes, any other questions please before I move on to the next last part of the session, that is the, the solution of the past papers. Yes, please. Any questions? Any questions? Could you quickly write it down in the chat to me, that what are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses in the paper one? So I can quickly comment on those. So what are the weak areas of your, quickly comment, quickly give a, that what are your weak areas in the paper one? All right, good, good, good. Yes. What are the weak area? For example, you say that, okay, unit four, I'm not sure about it. Unit one, I have no idea about it. Right. So, anything. What are the weaknesses of yours in paper number one? So, I'll advise you accordingly, inshallah. Uh, all right. Furqan says, wives and grandsons do less information. Furqan, as far as yourself is concerned, if you go helping notes and the points are enough, if you know them, Alhamdulillah, you'll be fine. Yes, please. Where you've said panic, I've told you this is not something which should come near. Stress and panic should not be near you tomorrow. Remember this in your mind. Stress and panic should not be something which should be near to you when you are going there. So you're going to arrive early. Why we arriving early? Avoid panic, avoid stress. Why we making sure that every stuff is with us? Like even I went to that extent, not even this in a why I have given to, because I don't want to avoid any kind of stress, right? But no need to panic, inshallah ta'ala, and start with the name of Allah. This is something important. When you start your day, start with the name of Allah, right? And make sure you perform your Fajr prayer. So, this is a great opportunity. And so, with that, and then start your paper with the name of Allah. When you enter an examination, start with the name of Allah. And Allah is the greatest help for us, right? So you have this advantage. Take full advantage of this opportunity of just you and Allah. That's it. So on there, I should not see you if I get a chance to go to the examination hall, because there are very strict SOPs there this time. So therefore, what do you call it? And yes, please uh, follow the SOPs. The mask should be there. You should have a backup mask with you. The water bottle should be with you. And don't take a half filled water bottle with you in the examination hall. If you think you are like, there are some people who drink a lot of water. So take two bottles with you, right? One bottle just outside. And when you're going inside, let's say 8:30 or something, you're going inside the hall, so that your water bottle should be filled up. So this is something important, right? Then they call at around 8:30. They'll call you to please maybe quarter past 8 or something, because SOPs are there. So don't just wait for them. That they're calling others, not you, right? When they call you, please go inside. They go inside. Forget, as I said to you, no new learning, no. You've already done it. What you have to do, right? That applies to each and every paper that you're going to take, inshallah ta'ala, for the international standards, and also the other exams. Okay, so solve time not so good. Battle of the Battle of the Book. Waji family says, my dear, if you can't solve Battle of Nan, Battle of the Book, then read carefully and learn those points. But I recommend have a you should know what it is. But today is not the day to learn something new. Today is not the day to learn something new. Walaikum salam, Imad. Good to see you, mashallah. So, yes, Imad, anything you are lacking, anything you think this is your weakness, please mention it to me in the chat before I move on to. I'm just going to give you another 60 seconds, one more minute on this. Then I'm going to going to the solution of what do you call it? June 2018. Any weaknesses? Abdurrahman is with us. Okay, let me just go through the messages once more. If there are any. Okay. The difference between qiyas and ijma and how to approach answer starting mean. Ijma and qiyas, what do you call it? Firstly, let me further confuse you. Number one, in the session number 9, I particularly stressed on like what is Islamic law. Please look at the second half of session number 9 is there. And as far as ijma, and like you should know that what is ijma as a 10 marks question. You should know what is qiyas as a 10 marks question. Then the thing comes in if they come together, 5 plus 5, ijma and qiyas. So if ijma is a 5 marks question, then you should know what you're going to write and what you're going to write in qiyas. Uh, all right, Ubaid has asked a very good question. Uh, can we write once the invigilator says stop? Invigilator has the right. One of my students, he was well known for talking in the class. And probably if I start a count, must have interrupted me during the lessons more than 1,000 times, right? Uh, what happened to him because of this bad habit? He continued to talk around, and the invigilator just canceled this paper, and he received a U, right? And although he has done all the paper, but he received U because he was not following the instruction of the examiner. So once you're in there, whatever they say, if they say stand in that corner, sit in that corner, please follow their instructions. Although I don't think so they'll be doing that. But if they say stop writing, they'll tell you 1 minute to go. They'll tell you it's 15 minutes to go. There is a clock there as well, right? So please make sure and wear a simple watch, please. Wear a simple watch, right? They may ask you to take off your smart watches. So please make sure you wear a very simple watch, which is just a simple old classic watch, right? And meaning we cannot store anything and all that. So they will. So that's another aspect. So just follow their instructions, please. Follow their instructions. Once they will be telling you that 1 minute to go, that means you know what you can write in 1 minute. But I won't recommend 1 minute. You shouldn't be writing. You should be revising in the last minute. Okay. Now, uh, so I hope I've answered that. Okay. Now I'm going to be going to the solution of the 2018 paper 1. I've selected 3 samples for that, and I hope one is a little blurry, which I can't do much about it, but it will be something of good to you, and you will be able to hear that as well. Okay, so what we're gonna be looking at is the past papers of 2018. If any one of you has any questions, uh, please write it down in the chat of All right. Can you hear me now? Yes, please. We have some issue with the mic. Some of you are saying that you cannot hear me. So, all right. Alhamdulillah. Let me quickly go through what I was talking about before we lost it. What I'm talking about here is that labels are very important. This is question number one. Make sure you wrote question number one like Abdurrahman did here. But when you're starting the new one, please, new passage, make sure you write that as well. Now, so in here, there are two approaches of solving. I have no problem with either of them. The approach number one is that you do the first you write down the part A's of the passages, and then you write down part B's. So as you can see here, like Abdurrahman has done part B, part A here, and then here part A of passage number one, and then passage number three, and then followed by that. And if you look at Ubad's approach is that he started with surah. Please don't write that. You write down question number one, and then this is passage number three, the three dot A, and A should be small, not the capital. And it's a good attempt. So this is about labels. Labels are very, very important. So please make sure your labels are done clearly. And then we move on to the next one. So it's a good attempt, mashallah. Although I would mention that try to write down, yeah, that's good. Surah Al-Kawthar is equivalent to, I doubt about what you're writing here. This is Surah Al-Ikhlas. So don't do such mistakes. So this is something which is, this is the fact. So when you try to misrepresent a fact, so this goes thing. Against the label is missing here. So make sure your labels are there. Okay. Now we move on to the next question. That is the question, write an account of the events of the first revelation and the Prophet's reaction afterwards. Tricky question. Let's see how you attempted it. I'm first looking at Abdul Rahman's work. Good start. You're starting with a fact, and make sure the facts are right. And very nice. Very good. Let me remind you back, what is the question? The events of the first revelation and the Prophet's reaction. Then the Prophet, Abdurrahman, try to slow down a little, please, because control your writing. This is very important because many of you may have finding difficult writing, reading it. So similarly, the examiner will do it. That's why you see the teachers often say, please make sure you have a good writing. So your writing should be good. Nice, very nice. If you mention the reference number to that, that'll be good as well. And very nice, very nice. Good attempt, mashallah. And nicely managed as well. Now, if you notice, it talks about the Prophet's reaction afterwards. So you're going to focus on the Prophet's reaction, right? And like the Prophet was shocked. If you notice, there is a subheading in the book, you can refer to that. And let's see if I can. look at some of the things. All right. Then the Quran was, I was just looking at the chart. Then, as it's spiritually it's very good, not bad, not bad. Should have written, it's a nice attempt, but the two, if you've written a little more about it, this would have been a little better, around two more lines or something. But it's a good attempt, mashallah. Okay, good, good. So you have further clarification, that's good. And then you moving on to the, all right, idol worshipping, how the society was, why he used to go to cave of Hira. Well done. Angel Jibreel must have mentioned around two lines which Abdurrahman did about Ibrahim alayhi salam and all that. He used to ponder the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And then you're talking about revelation. Now, this is something important that, let me see if I can find the, oh, not this one. Not this one. Okay, we're not after that. Anyway, so the angels left, and the prophet. Not bad, not bad. But again, he's talking about, look at the question, account of the events of the first revelation, right? So you write about it, that's good. And then the prophet's reaction afterwards, very nicely done. So good, strong question answer. That's well done for that. Then the part B, it talks about that it was revealed in parts over the years. So why was this important? So good, 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 good. All right, good. It's not. It's a good attempt, and it's something that I'm just looking for another solution. Actually, okay. We move on to the next question, which is question number 3. And write about the main events of the battles of Khaybar and Tabuk. That's, if you notice, I talk about that. So here we go. This is Abdurrahman. The Prophet said, the feast of the Quraysh, the Jews were left. Very good reference to that, like why it was happening, right? And then it's a bit long introduction. It's three paragraphs gone now, so I should have reduced a little, and then good, good, good. Right, good, very good. Coming back to that, might happen. Selection of Sayyidina Ali, and that where the Prophet ﷺ said that, you know what, it's good attempt. I know it's difficult to write because it's 5 plus 5, but the problem here is that the problem here is that we have to write within that space. So a little more about the content, what actually the Battle of Khyber is. And okay, good, 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 good. That's what Imaduddin was talking about uh, 15 minutes ago or something. So then that's a nice answer. Right, army of the 3,000. Good, good, good. Not bad. Not a bad attempt. Not a bad attempt. I won't say it's a super attempt, but it's a good attempt. Right. And where is your question number? Oh, you didn't attempt that question. All right. So, what I want you to do is look at that part B. All right, and then tell me how much marks out of 4 you're going to give to this question. What's on the front in the screen in front of you? How much marks would you give to this question? Here we go. How much marks this question should get? Oh, sorry about that. Yes, please. Quick, 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 quick. Tell me how much marks this question should get. 2.75. Imad says 3. Ubad says 2. Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman, you around there? Good. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Good attempt. So, yeah, a bit more, 2 3 2 points or something should have been added in there. So this would have really made an impact. And let me see. Okay, so let's look at another solution and let's see what, as I said, it's a little blurry, so it's not very easy to read, but we'll try that. It's really difficult to. Okay, we're talking about question number 2. All right, good, good, good. Okay, we're talking about that question. So he attempted Khaybar, and in here, not a bad attempt, not a bad attempt. Again, the labels are very important. Question for what? A part, B part. So all this is something very important. So we're moving on to part B. of so we talked about that. So this, let's see this one. Muslim learning decision should be rights and available, and let me remind you back. Battle of Blue became a mission of peace instead of war. What can we learn from this? It's a good attempt, and Furqan, could you tell us how come the B part is becoming so... Oh, the paper ended. You started with question number 4, the book. So where is question number 3B? So this confusion, the examiners don't like it, right? And so therefore, so this is something. So make sure whosoever's papers it says, please make sure the labels are correct and you're writing A and then part B. Okay, now if we move on to question number 4, which most of you have attempted, and let's see what question number 4 is. The Prophet's relation with Quraysh changed after he began to receive revelations. Describe the differences between the Quraysh treated him after the events. Right? So let's see what Abdurrahman is writing about it. Abdurrahman didn't attempt it. Ubad wrote about it. So make sure that your writing is very clear, and Revelation used to keep belongings of the Prophet. Good, good. The Quraysh behavior changed. Very nice. Give examples, give examples. Okay, 2-3 lines examples are very important. Ubaid should have written 2-3 examples. This should have been, like another 4-5 lines added. But it's a good way. You're on the right track. Right. Then let's look at Furqan's solution. So not a bad attempt. Good introduction, and well done, well done. Please avoid using, like, you're starting a new paragraph and you're starting with however, right? So this is something in the middle, right? So just something English point. So good attempt. Yeah, and so the Prophet will be... Okay, not a bad attempt, not a bad attempt. And so let's talk about the part B. Did not change his character despite the Quraysh change towards him. What can the Muslims learn from this? Very tricky question. Although its very answers are very simple. Let's see what Ubad has written down. They suffer as they lose hope in Allah, and accept that then they also learn from that. This very good attempt. Little more, two points or something would have been mentioned there. I know there is getting a little bigger, but little two more questions, 2 more points or something. Furqan, in your case, let's see if I can find the part B. I'm sorry about that. I just need to make sure that I'm looking at, you know, Uh, wasn't able to know the arrange the. Oh, but please make sure he's saying I don't know how to arrange that in there. You you know you take photographs in that order and then you combine them together. But anyway, don't do this mess in the paper. Although there is going to be one booklet, so make sure you do it in that booklet as well. So yeah, I think I found it. And the way it will not lead. It's a good attempt, not very good, but would you call it improve on that? Uthman and Ja'far, Radwanullah Majma'een, were among the companions migrated to Abyssinia. Write about, write an account of this migration and events in it. How does the migration compare to the recent migration of the Muslims? Please, this is an important question. Look at the past papers, and so that's something. So let's see if Abdul Rahman, I think, attempted this question. So remember, the question is, Uthman and Ja'far were among the companions, radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, migrated to Abyssinia. Write an account of this migration and events in it. Basically, the question is, write an account of the migration of Abyssinia and write events in that. So let's see how Abdul Rahman attempted it. Abdul Rahman, one paragraph of introduction. That's it. I don't need you get your introductions are getting to what, 3 paragraphs or something. Yeah, good, good. Should have mentioned that he was being followed. All right. I hope, I don't know how you will be able to read, although I can. If I can. Wow. Okay. When they reached Najashi, good. Nice attempt, nice attempt. But I won't say it's a brilliant attempt, but it's a good attempt. You are in the bracket of what, say, between 77 and 8, right? But it's a good attempt. And all right, everyone, how much marks would you give for this question? Yeah, you give examples, but what the look at the answer compared to the recent migrations of there. Okay, these migrations happen, fair enough, you can say those all 3 migrations in one sentence, right? So the question is, write it down, like how they're different, what lessons you're getting out of it, you're comparing that migration to that. So so do that. So those things are important. I'm sorry I'm a little harsh here, but that's what it is. But again, you mentioned tremendous examples. That was very good, and you have also mentioned the like, but little more like how can you learn from it, and I would say it's something between 2.5, 2.5, somewhere there. So that's the only thing which is missing here. Right. So that's all we have for in terms of the past papers concerned. My du'as are with you. May Allah give you a lot of success, because all those of you who have worked hard, this is the time to show it to the other people, to show it to everyone that, look, you work hard. One. Second thing, do not panic, do not stress. Third thing, do not learn anything new. Fourth, arrive there early. Make sure you have stuff. Your identification documents are something important. And also, what do you call it? That thing should be with you. So organize your travel tomorrow. Go to sleep early. Please do not go to sleep late night. So this is my wasiya to you. Excuse me. So that's the things. And then inshallah ta'ala, I will be, once you're done with it, we'll be continuing our sessions, because your paper 2 is there. So I think we'll have 2 or 3 more sessions inshallah ta'ala. But anyway, if you still have any questions, my suggestion to you would be that, what do you call it? Your questions, just email me what to do and all that. Furqan said, what should I do? Revise. My suggestion is 3 revisions before 10 p.m. Right? Do not panic. Organize, relax, right? But the relax doesn't mean you go there and, you're sleeping half of the day. No. What I mean to say, working and getting the task done. So like, for example, I was saying to you that 2 passages a day, you got, it's nearly 1:15. So let's say, so let's do it like that, right? So 2 passages every hour and Quranic passages, and then revise those perfect questions or something. Session number 1, look at session number 1 for those questions, right? Majority, those of you who just came to know a week ago or a month ago that you got an Islamiyat exam. So what you can do is look at my session number 1. So make sure all those questions, you know it, so you have a probability of passing the exam, right? Take good care. There's a question saying, is there any? I've already answered that session of the paper. Yes, I'm going to continue the sessions because we got paper 2 coming up. So once paper 1 is done, probably on the evening of tomorrow evening, we're going to have 1 session as well. So that's it from my side. Take good care of yourself. Stay safe. This is very, very important. Take safety as your first precaution. Follow the SOPs. Make sure you have backup masks with you, right? And may Allah give barakah in our efforts. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilma. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.